I know that human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Hello and welcome to the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. Here at Spoilt Milk, we like to discuss, dissect, and destroy guilty pleasure movies. And then we decide whether the film is truly spoilt milk, or whether it's ascended into a fine, luxurious cheese. So without further ado, let's go.
Warning, this podcast is full of spoilers for the title feature, and there's bad language from the start. If you've never seen the film, or you're offended by bad language, you have been warned.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast, where today we are talking about Watchmen. But before we go on to Watchmen, we will be discussing our top three, which is what we put out on our Instagram poll. Unfortunately, due to some kind of error, the poll figures weren't coming through. So we just picked one on the night and we've gone for our top three alternative comic book characters, heroes, villains, whatever you want to go for. Who wants to go first?
Should I? Because I'm being
you have
looked
one.
at.
Because you have one.
I was going to go for Mystery Men.
Oh, yeah. With
the Ben Stiller and
is that a comic
Kel.
then?
Yeah, it's a comedy.
What's he called with the guy with the spoons?
Oh.
The Mystic Raja or something.
And it's Hank
Azaria, isn't
Azaria, which seems a bit awkward now.
Why? What's he done?
Is he a nonce?
Well, no, because that character is...
Oh, is it like a pit?
A bit of a cultural appropriation, isn't it?
Oh, I don't agree with that shit.
But no, it's a really good send-up of comic book movies.
And it's got Smash Mouth on the soundtrack.
Yeah. I forgot about that. I actually haven't watched it in ages, but it does have one of my favourite jokes in it, which is, it's something that's been done quite a few times. In fact, I can't think of an example, but it's the one where it's like, oh yeah, but they said my father fell down an elevator shaft onto 6 bullets.
Yeah. Is he the shoveler?
Yeah, that's he was in the US version of Shameless. I can't think of his name, but he's a really good actor.
Oh, William H. Macy.
That's it.
Sorry, I thought that was Ben Stiller's character. So.
No, Ben Stiller's character just gets really angry all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's the spleen.
The spleen.
Is that Pee-wee?
Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't know.
Paul Rubens, because isn't he a bit of a bad un?
Probably.
And he gone down for some kind of like rape charges or something.
Oh.
Paul Rubens. Yeah, they're all bad.
Oh.
And then you've got, who else is there?
There's the bird with a
Janine Garofalo.
bowling ball that's got a dead dad's skull in it.
And then, what's his name? Jeffrey, what's his name? The villain from Pirates of the Caribbean.
I don't know.
Jeffrey Rush.
Yeah.
He's, what's his character? Because he's got one of those metal fingers where it's like, like a big ring that covers your
Like
whole
a big
finger with a
mushroom.
point. And I used to have one. And I remember because
Really?
it was one of the first DVDs that I ever bought, Mystery Men. It was a Region 1. So I had to get an American. Right. I don't know if you ever knew this, but I had a Samsung DVD player. And there was a thing
Why
around.
would we know that?
No, there was like a hack for it, where if you had a certain Alba stereo or something, that if you press the eject button on your stereo and held it down, it opened your Samsung DVD player and changed it to Region 1. And I was like, my dad's got that Alba stereo. So I went and bought this DVD player
And
on
it was
the
a
basis.
lie.
No, it fucking worked. And I was like, pressed it and I was like holding down and I was like, is this going to work? And then it opened and was like, and then someone gave me like an American DVD and it fucking worked. And I was like,
crazy.
This is the best thing ever. Loved it. But so then bought Mystery Men.
I love like region hacks.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad we don't have regions anymore, but still.
Oh, do they not?
I think Blu-rays had them, but I mean, you don't have them with stream. Actually, no, you do have different versions of Netflix, don't you, for streaming? Damn it. I've got a VPN, so it's fine.
But I loved that film and caned it because you could only get so many. And I bought one of those rings.
Eddie Izzard was the villain.
Oh, yeah.
good villain. He's been, when he's been in films, he's been a solid actor.
Oh,
I
yeah.
disagree. I think apart from that, when he's in films, I think he's pretty rubbish. Apart from Mystery Men, where he's quite good. Okay. Sorry.
Punch him, Katty. Only because your arms can reach him.
My tiny arms.
Like T-Rex arms.
Do you know much about the comic then?
Mystery Men? No, I didn't
Is it a
actually
full
think
series
it
or
was,
just a graphic novel?
I didn't... Oh, is it? Does it have to be based off a actual... Because I thought it was comic book styling.
Oh,
so
right,
it's
that's
still-
fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Then.
It might be
That
based
helps
off
me.
a comic, but...
I think it is.
I was just going because that is a comic book movie, even though it... Just like Chronicle is a comic book movie, but that I know that's definitely not based off a comic book. Yeah, I don't know about Mystery Men. It might have been, actually, to be fair.
Oh, see, I've got something that's not a film, but it's a comic.
Okay, that's probably better.
Do you want to go? Then?
I mean, you can go. It's fine. Or do you want me to go?
I was going to go for Unbreakable, but then again, I was like, it's not technically a comic book.
Well, it's got the alternative in the title of this top three, so
Yeah.
anything goes.
So it's got comic books in the film and is based on comic book mythology. So I love Unbreakable, and I wanted to talk about it to ask you if you'd seen Glass and what you thought about it.
I enjoyed it.
I haven't seen Glass yet, so no spoilers because I'm really looking forward to it.
It's not as good as Unbreakable.
It's not as good as Split either.
But it's
because
perfectly fine.
I enjoyed Split and obviously Unbreakable. I loved Unbreakable. When that came out, I was like, this is the pinnacle of this genre.
But I think in terms of alternative superheroes, I feel like not many films have done much better than Unbreakable, just basing him in fully. I like the fact that he's like, I'm not a superhero for 90% of the film. And the main people who are like, yeah, you are. One is the person who's ending up to be his arch nemesis, and he's like 10-year-old boy.
Yeah.
And I just love the scene where he's like, okay, put 10 kilograms more or whatever, or pounds in America. And I put 10 more pounds on, 10 more pounds. And then he's like, I put all of it on. And he still lifts it. And I'm like, that's just a good way.
And it's a kid who keeps like breaking the rules where he shouldn't have done it. He's like, and it could have killed him. So it's a really stupid moment by the kid, but also...
Well, he has that scene where he's going to shoot him,
Yeah.
doesn't he? The kid's like going to shoot him in the kitchen. It's just a really nice scene, and it ends up with them all just like crying or whatever. But it's
don't tell me because I don't want to know. But I really hope there is a scene in Glass where someone shoots at him. I'm not even going to look at your faces just in case you give it away. But I'll be sorely disappointed if that's not the case.
Well, that's mine. David Dunn, who I feel like David Dunn was a football player for Man City, but I just like that film. Nice and grounded. Different to a lot of the standard. It might not be a comic book, but it's got comic books in it.
They called me Mr. Glass.
Isn't that a line in a Kanye West song as well?
Oh, is it?
I thought you were a big fan.
Yes.
Biggest.
Katty.
And me. So mine's not a film,
Okay.
but it's a comic book that got made into a TV show. So my most favorite character ever,
Preacher.
it's Cassidy from Preacher.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. That's a solid choice.
So, I mean, I had two. It was either going to be Cassidy from Preacher or it was going to be John Constantine.
Yeah, I was saying to you earlier, we spoke about Constantine, though, didn't we, a few weeks ago? I'm glad you've gone for Cassidy.
Have you seen the Constantine TV series that they did do?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
What, and has it been binned off? Or?
Yeah.
But they are in talks of bringing back something with that actor as Constantine again. It might not be a
but
Constantine
it's
series,
in
but...
what? There's another TV show.
Oh yeah, he's come back every now and then in like the Arrowverse and Flash, but we're on about an actual series where he'll be a regular again as Constantine.
I don't know whether they just don't bring back Constantine though.
Yeah, it got better and better when they stopped making it too PG.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's the thing. You can't make something like that PG. It's like the same as Preacher. Like the first few episodes of it, it just turned in. It was just a bit tame and when they stopped giving a fuck, it were great.
Oh, that one where that kid shoots himself in the face like over and over and over again was brutal. Did they make a third series? Because I only watched the first two, and is that all done? Has it been cancelled?
No.
It's still going.
It's nothing like the comic.
Is Seth Rogen still involved?
Yeah, he's making The Boys as well as Seth Rogen.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? He's doing a good job of bringing comic books to...
I'm disappointed in the trailer.
Of The Boys. We'll see. But you guys said you told us to watch The Umbrella Academy, and that was okay.
I liked it.
I felt like the first 5 episodes were shit, and then the last 5 were good. So it might be like that, where it's not as good to begin with. And
the teams just look a bit...
So why do you like Cassidy, sorry?
He just don't give a fuck. He's just this Irish vampire that drinks, smokes, fucks, don't give a fuck.
I didn't like the storyline where he had that like old man.
Oh, his son.
Yeah, his son. Yeah. I was like, oh, bin this guy off. But I love that it's Woody from This Is England. And wasn't he just in Emmerdale?
He were in not Skins, Misfits.
Oh, right, okay then. Like the guy from Umbrella Academy, he's in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm happy that he's doing well.
Cassidy is in Misfits.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never seen Misfits.
Mm-hmm.
But it was
not
in
the band, the TV show.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to add to?
I just love him. I just properly love him.
He's a good character. So yours was?
Cassidy from Preacher.
Mine was David Dunn, the most boring superhero name from Unbreakable, and Hobo.
Mine was pretty much anyone in the Mystery Men. Just amazing.
Just the Mystery Men.
Yeah, the Mystery Men is a gang of...
The who, sorry?
Mystery Men.
The Mystery Men.
Mystery Men.
I was getting confused because there's a film called Mystery Team. I was like, did I say it wrong? But yeah, no.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Education. Go, hey. Back for part 1. Do you know that?
What are you doing?
Taking your pod. No, you're not. You will not be taking our pod today, sir.
Hello and welcome back to part 1 of the Spoilt Milk movie podcast.
Welcome back.
Yeah, from the original bit.
Okay.
We've done our top 3, haven't we? It's not been that long, has it?
We've done a top 3. Have you forgotten?
So welcome back. We're going to be talking about Watchmen. Normally at this point, I'd throw it over to you to say what's the film about. Are you ready? You're not going to throw a top 3 out?
I don't know. I feel like some
What
sort
are
of
your
wild card.
top 3 Watchmen films?
Watchmen's. Top 3 Watchmen.
Hobo.
What are the top 3 men you watch?
Hobo, what's Watchmen about?
Watchmen
I'm going to throw it at you tonight.
is about a bunch of vigilantes.
All right, Katty, what's it about?
So, Watchmen, it's about a group of people that are technically superheroes, but they've not really got any superpowers. They're just right good at fighting. And they were superheroes, and then there were no need for them anymore. And then shit's getting real, and the world's going to shit. And then they come back. And there's a guy called Dr. Manhattan that just has his blue cock out all the time.
Yeah.
All of the fucking time.
Yeah, his blue lad is out.
And his blue ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can deal with a blue ass. What I can't deal with is floppy blue cock.
Even that shot where he's like sat in the sort of meditating position floating and it comes out just between his ass.
I do feel like, am I going to see blue butthole?
Yeah. I wanted to see either dark blue butthole or dark blue penis hole.
Penis hole.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Is your penis so dark?
No, his would be dark blue. Just because of like the fact that it's like hidden.
What?
Like, are you like when I look down at my cockhole, it's just, like shines a bright light.
Let me just have a look.
Use it as a torch.
If you were drawing one, you'd draw probably a little black hole.
Only because that's a drawing, but it's not.
Yeah, but he's CGI.
But
It'd be a
mine's-
dark blue on him.
I think mine's just more of a. It's like a slit.
Yeah, if
So
you were
if I spread it open.
but he's not spreading open his cockhole. We're seeing
So why did you want to see his dark blue cockhole?
because I think it'd be exciting.
So Dr. Manhattan would have to get his dick and spread open.
Do you know what? I listened to Brian
Is he
Cox.
circumcised?
Yeah, I think he is. I listened to Brian Cox talking about black
I
holes
hate that
the
cunt.
other day. Oh, he's ace. And he was talking about when you get on a black hole, that time and what was it? Oh,
What?
time and distance invert. And he was like, on Earth, you can stand still, but time's always moving forward. Whereas in a black hole, time stops, but you are forever moving towards the black hole. And I feel like that's what Dr. Manhattan's cockhole would be. Space and time would invert and you would just float towards the middle of it.
I hate
Stop
Brian
moving.
Cox.
He's
all right.
his dick
He's
hole
so
would be a
fucking
singularity.
wet.
Oh, he's so nice.
What does that mean? Wet.
Just
floppy.
then, like, just
Just wet, isn't it? Just a bit like
Do you hope all your scientists are muscular like Dr. Manhattan?
No, I don't mean like physically wet. I mean, he's just a bit.
So back to the film. We get to see like two ages of superheroes, don't we? We see the Minutemen. Is that in like the 60s?
I think it's 50s, 60s.
Yeah, because they do all the flower power.
It's about 15
hippies
years
and stuff,
apart. The time frame we keep mentioning is 15 years apart.
Yeah.
And
So mid-60s maybe
I
and
thought Thingy
80s?
was 85 sort of time.
Okay,
the present time was 80.
1970, we're talking to the mid-80s.
Yeah.
So I really like that. I like that there's like a first version and then you see throughout. I mean, Zack Snyder loves a musical intro to his films. You see some of their downfalls, the guy's cape getting caught in the whirly doors, the lesbian lady gets butchered in her bed and things like that. But then the comedian survives.
I love the comedian.
Yeah. He is a nasty motherfucker.
Yeah.
But he's so good.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan in that role is so much better than anything else I've seen him in.
He's very handsome.
Yeah, he is very handsome.
I got the man crush on.
I used to watch Grey's Anatomy.
I used to.
All the time. Like the first 10, it's gone on for too long, so I gave up. But first, say 10 series, I watched it religiously and I buzzed off it. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan was in it and he was a really good character. And I was like, this guy's ace. I want him to be in more stuff. And then when he was in Watchmen, I was like, my ticket is bought. In there with all the Grey's Anatomy's fans. Grey's Anatomy's high-fiving over Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And then saw him in this one, like, this guy, he can go anywhere, do anything. And then his career's kind of gone a bit to shit.
Weren't he in Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he was in Rampage. And I think he's in...
terrible movie.
What's that film? No, that program, Supernatural. I think he's in that.
Oh, yeah, I enjoyed Supernatural.
Never seen it. I like Grey's
Suck a
Anatomy,
donkey dick.
Never.
Suck Dr. Manhattan's dick. So what's the whole story about then? We've got all these different characters. Who's the lead?
I'd say Rorschach.
Rorschach? Yeah,
Well,
he's the narrator, but...
In the comic, specifically Rorschach is more the lead because in the start of the book, there's a lot more of him talking with his diary. And we have a bit of this in this film, but they abandon that pretty quickly. But yeah,
There was a lot of it at
Rorschach.
the end.
Yeah. He kind of bookends it, doesn't he? And then in the middle, it's more Night Owl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Getting laid, finally.
yeah. Oh, that fat cunt Night Owl. Who is it that's like, calls him Tubby or something? He's like, oh, you got flabby Night Owl. I'm like, God, I wish I looked like Night Owl.
he is.
He's pretty hench.
Yeah.
Patrick
But,
Wilson.
Again, it's because a lot of, they kept doing this. Like in the comic book, he's a middle-aged man who's put on a bit of weight. So he used to be in shape, but he's put on some weight. And same with the first Silk Spectre. In the movie, they call her, Rorschach says she's a bloated old whore. And in this, I'm looking at Carla Gugino. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But in the comic, she is an older woman who's let herself go.
I know it.
An older
You stopped
whore.
yourself.
She's not
She
an
is
actual whore.
a lovely lady
She's
who's
not a
maybe
whore
let
in
it go a
the
bit.
comics. Yeah. But yeah, like Zack Snyder was just like, no, I can't have ugly people in my film. I can't have people who aren't the standard away from what I think of beauty. So I'm just going to keep them in it and call them ugly. It's like how anything...
He puts a bit of makeup on them, though, doesn't he? So we start with the comedian's death, and then that kind of kickstarts the story. Rorschach, who is supposedly our protagonist, has identified that someone's hunting down masked vigilantes or heroes. But what's going on in the background? We've got the Doomsday Clock, and
so it starts with
Nixon,
just TV.
Nixon Cocknose.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, what was that? That's not what Nixon's.
That prosthetic was disgusting.
Was it worse than Greasy Strangler?
I would rather him have Big Ronnie's dangly dick hanging from his face than that penis nose.
But yeah, it starts with...
it had a cock hole.
It did. Them talking about the nuclear threat, even before the big action scene at the start where the comedian dies. It starts with what I thought was quite a long intro of just people talking about the nuclear threat, which is interesting. I did like it. It sets up the stage that this, throughout America in particular, there's this terror that the Russians will just launch their nukes at any moment. And that's where, 4 minutes to midnight at the start of the film?
Yeah.
So, that's where we were.
You just kind of ended there.
Well,
I
was waiting for someone to interrupt me the entire time, and no one did. I was like,
right.
You just did a bewitched nose twinkle.
I've got an itchy nose, but I don't want to get my finger up there because it looks like I'm picking it.
What's a twickle?
I meant to say twinkle. Whatever that she does in Bewitched, the TV series. You know,
All you're doing is screwing your face up.
I can't do my nose thing.
This isn't good for audio, is it? So
I can do it backwards and forwards, like.
Yeah, that is weird. So there's the threat, isn't there? And then we've got Dr. Manhattan working with Vite, who's supposed to be the world's smartest man. And they're building some kind of machine that's hopefully, what is it, a
free
deterrent?
Energy. No, it's meant to be the free energy, so we can get
course.
electric cars and the world isn't dependent on fossil fuels.
So how do we feel about the story? How...
I enjoyed some of it. And some of it was shite. Like, I wish they'd gone more into, like, Rorschach. And, because there's just some really gritty bits in there, and you don't really get that from a lot of comic book films where it's just, like, gritty and...
Do you not think that you might appreciate Rorschach because he's...
small?
Yeah. Because they use him sparingly. So when he is in, you're like, oh, this guy's good.
No, because I just like him as a character. Like... I don't know. It's just more like the rest of them are all like, oh, we're here to save the day. And he's just like him and the comedian, both of them are just like, fuck this. If I need to shoot a kid in the face, I'm going to shoot a kid in the face.
Well, I like that about comedian, but he was kind of still quite real, if you will, and like grounded in what would be this world. Whereas I felt like Rorschach, his monologuing got a bit much when he was like, and the scumbags on the street. And I was like, oh, come on, just fucking move on. Like, as soon as he took his mask off and he was talking fairly normal, I was like, oh, this is fine. But it was too monologue-y. And that got a bit old.
It's supposed to be like, you're supposed to be reading his diary, aren't you?
Yeah, true.
This is his personal diary. And again, in the comic books, they do flesh him out, his character. So while you might not like that diary side of it, one, it gives you more context of what goes in the diary, but also more of that character in the comic is actually about like his past, his growing up, and also his mindset and where he got to where he is, and also some bits where he's a bit more understanding, so he's a bit more fleshed out. So he's not just about the monologuing of insulting people. It's you get to see why he's insulting them, like why little bits that he doesn't like. Even things like a little off the cuff remark where he's saying like it's good to see, where he says tonight, oh, it's good to see you back in your costume. I think in the comics he says it's good to see you back in the costume, and you, Silk Spectre, I was never a fan of your costume, but nothing personal. So it's like he's trying to give her a compliment, but at the same time, because especially in the comics, her costume is more just a plunging neckline with some see-through outfit. Believe it or not, the spandex in this is modest compared
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She annoyed me.
She were a floozy.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If my boyfriend were trying to fucking build some sort of nuclear reactor thing whilst we're trying to have sex, I'd be a little bit annoyed.
Why?
What if there was 3 of him?
Then I'd still be annoyed. It's like, I don't want 3 people and one of you fixing a fucking engine.
Yeah, but if you were like,
I don't want 3 floppy blue dicks.
One BF, you're like, oh, they'll give it their best go. But if there was 2 of them, but you're like, but it's this, the third one's off. Like, I think it would be quite good.
But what if all the effort of one person gets split between all of them, though?
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah.
He's just flopping around.
Yeah, it's just like he's rubbing grease on me and just sliding around on top.
He's like a god, so he's god fucking. Like that floppy dick probably goes harder than any material on the planet. He's gone to Mars and got a hard dick. Mars dick.
What if the one person doing the other thing wasn't just building a machine? He was going out to buy you really nice stationery. So once you've done fucking, like instantly afterwards, he's got, here is the nicest stationery that I had, but he's managed to do that.
Would he have like a gel pen?
Yeah.
Some smelly gel pens.
Smelly gel pens, yeah. And it would smell like the best thing ever because he's been able to synthesize it as well.
Oh, shit. That's a tough question. Is this on the extended cut? There's like a director's cut. Is the stationery bit in there? Is it in the comic?
Have you seen Be Kind Rewind?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe we should remake Watchmen.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll call it for part 1 and we'll come back to talk about Zack Snyder, maybe some of the visuals, and the different cuts and how it's different to the comic book soon. Oh, hey there, Hobo. What did you draw last week?
I drew a blue dog last week.
Well, that's very good. Hello and welcome back to part 2 of the Watchmen episode of the Spoilt Milk movie podcast. I would quite like to kick this off talking about Zack Snyder.
Schneider.
How do you feel, or should I say, how did you feel about Zack Snyder when this film came out? So fresh off the back of 300 and Dawn of the Dead.
I was, after watching 300, I really thought he was the guy to make this film. 300 is so close to a comic book. It's ridiculous and in a good way, because while the comic book itself, the story is as straightforward as the movie. So while it may not be the most deep story, it's kind of pretty solid, and it's a very good retelling. It's like shot for shot in a lot of cases, and the cases that it's got its own Zack Snyder styling, which works. And yeah, I was looking forward to that. Dawn of the Dead is a solid zombie movie as well. Really, I haven't watched that in probably about 5 to 6 years, but
probably longer, 10.
Yeah, I've not watched it in ages.
I remember liking it though. I remember thinking it was funny and well made, not very scary, but it wasn't really going for that.
I think it was supposed to be more of like a thrillery type of
finger.
No, just signaling that Arnold had gone that way.
The dogs escaped. So had you seen 300 and Dawn of the Dead before this?
Yeah.
So were you like, I'm on board?
I didn't know by the same person, to be honest.
Right, okay then. Because I went into this, I had no idea about who he was or about the comic.
Oh, really?
At all.
So you hadn't seen 300? Or?
Oh, shit, no, yeah. I'd seen 300, but I didn't know that it was the same person. And then when I saw it, I was like, okay, that makes sense now. But I had no idea about the comic book.
And I mean, to Zack Snyder's credit, this film is like all the best moments. I imagine any moment that either of you two love are like, if it's the dialogue or the visuals, are probably from the comics. There's not too much. There are some standout moments where.
What was that noise?
Yeah, what was that noise?
I didn't hear a noise. What?
It was like a weird.
Yeah. Anyway.
Did I make it? Was it?
In your mind.
There are some standout moments. Like, for example, you know the bit where Rorschach is following the big boss midget guy into the toilet. The way that plays out, where the door's flapping. And you
I
see
think you can't call them midgets. It's not PC.
I thought you could say midgets.
What is the PC?
I thought
term?
dwarves weren't allowed. Or
Vertically challenged.
With the vertically challenged big boss guy.
yeah.
And they're going in the bathroom, and the door is flapping, and you see the terror on his face as well. That's much better in the film. In the comic, it is Rorschach goes to the toilet, and then Night Owl's like, when you gotta go, and he walks out and blood drips out underneath it.
Yeah, because that's a nice moment.
Yeah.
I liked that. I thought you were going to say that straight from the comic book.
No,
I didn't know he had that in him.
No, that's that little moment of seeing that terror is, yeah. But like the bit about the prison scene of chucking the boiling on him, boiling hot water.
Oil.
Yeah. In fact, actually, that's slightly
was
better
grim.
in the movie as well, because while he chucks the boiling hot oil on him, in the comic, that's where it ends. And then later on, the psychiatrist, you hear in his journal, and he said, you're not locked in, I'm not locked in here with you, you're locked in here with me. In the movie, Rorschach gets to scream that out to one of them, and it's probably the most badass moment in the film.
Yeah, but I was just sat there thinking, that basket has got holes in it.
That's a good point.
The amount of oil that's on that man's face isn't gonna be on that man's face.
Yeah, true.
I get that there's like food in it, and
Yeah.
like the oil's gonna like, if you're quick enough, the oil
Yeah.
will stay in there.
But
But
maybe not that much.
and plus, where are all like the chips and shit that's come out of it?
I loved it if he just had like a Findus crispy pancake in his mouth.
Well, I won a 10 quid voucher at work, like
Findus?
one of them love to shop vouchers, and I
Did
can
you get
spend
to
it at Iceland.
Yes.
So I was just like, first of all, I was saying, does anyone want to buy this off me for £10? Because I don't really go to any of these shops that is telling me that I can spend it at.
Yeah.
And then the guy in HR that sits with us, he was just like, just go to Iceland and buy a prawn ring. One prawn ring.
Pound prawn ring.
Like a king prawn ring.
Oh, do you mean where it's got like multiple prawns in
Yeah,
a
so
ring?
it's like
Okay.
it's like one of them big rings. It's all like king prawns around, and then you've got the tub of like thousands.
Did you buy one?
No.
And you bought a
Yeah, you
Christmas
can't
thing.
call it prawns.
I haven't brought no pancakes, but I'm just thinking.
Have you still got it?
Yeah, it's in my bag right now.
Oof, all the things you could buy. Smiles. Hobo loves
Surely
a
Iceland
smile.
sell alcohol.
Or waffles.
Iceland sell alcohol,
Yeah, they
but
do,
not
yeah.
the type of alcohol you want to drink.
Frosty Jacks or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I don't want to drink
Make a
that.
bit of
I might just go back get some crispy pancakes and a 3 banger Frosties.
I think if you get enough of them, you could do a prawn ring of crispy pancakes.
Yeah.
Like,
Or a Smiles ring.
well, like potato smileys.
Yeah.
Ah, potato
Well, I love that you call them
smileys.
Smileys.
I thought they were smileys.
No, they're just called Smiles, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
Oh,
I'll have to Google
that's
that.
changed my entire life.
Hey, it's smileys. I love a good Jippo tea.
You can say that because you are part Jippo.
Yeah,
Whereas Hobo, you can't say it, but you do eat.
Jippos.
Yeah, you eat like potato waffles, don't you?
And Jip, like, I'm a bit of a cannibal. Whatever's on the street. Like the dogs in Watchmen, where we're eating that little girl's.
Yeah, let's
foot.
get back to Watchmen.
or ham from a tree.
Yes. Is that scene in the comic then with the...
Yeah.
I don't want to just talk about is that in the comic, but the scene with the...
Yeah, the way that's
paedophile.
played out is a bit different in the comic. He goes to that place early, he sees the dogs eating it, he kills the dogs, and that's when he has the revelation of I'm now Rorschach, the blood splattering in his face, and then he waits there until the creep comes back and then kills him. It's actually the killing of the dogs that awakens him, because he's just like, if I can kill this, and like a person that's done this is even easier. It's less than nothing.
Yeah, I'd find it really hard to kill a dog, but I'd quite happily chop a human's head off.
So it's because he's seen that, he's so filled with rage that he kills him, and then that's everything from there is downhill. Yeah,
we find out that Dr. Manhattan is him because he got stuck in that thing.
I really like that sequence with like the whole cancer bit where they brought in his ex-flame and said that his ex-best mate had died from cancer, and then it showed his whole backstory. Thought that was I think the good thing about Watchmen is it seems like a superhero film where they've been like, let's take some time and think about what would happen if superheroes, and not like in a Hancock Will Smith way, like really think about, oh yeah, this might happen. And that whole cancer storyline was really like well thought out.
Well, you get a bit of this in the film, and it's really good, and it plays even better in the comic. But what I liked in the film was that you did get each person had their own moment of the film. Like Manhattan, his whole backstory that not only was from his backstory, but also because it was his perception of time. That's why you got it portrayed in that way. But like Night Owl, Silk Spectre, and even Rorschach got his backstory in his future, because he had backstory of his mum being a whore and him like messing up some older kids.
I love that. Didn't get the biting in the face though.
Just like, an animal.
Bite his ear though. Bite his ear off.
But there's a lot more things where, again, in the comic book, and I feel like it's such an easy thing that I don't know why it was missed out. That because there's so many parallels that this story tells. There's a lot of different story strands, but we're always trying to relate it to something. There's like, he's meant to show that he's an animal. It's a primal urge, and that's kind of what Rorschach is. Much like when the comedian is trying to rape Silk Spectre, the first one. In the comic book, there's a shot where they just go to a animal sculpture. It's very on the nose, and there's loads of little bits like that where they'll show something else, and it's something that films have done forever, and they just didn't do. And it's not like it adds to the runtime so much to add in these little.
Do you think he didn't
moments.
get that?
But didn't it turn out that the comedian didn't actually rape her?
No.
Yeah, he did. Because the dad's like, he came back to finish the job or something.
So he didn't rape her. He tried to, but then
they hooked up.
Yeah, they hooked up. Yeah. So yeah. He never actually raped her, but the intention was all there. I found it weird that, especially this is a bit in the comic book, so it's not like Zack Snyder's fault, especially. But I thought they might have changed it. The kind of wording of a lot of this suggests that like rape victims look fondly upon their rape attacks at points, and there's even bits where. In the comic book, it's probably worse, where Rorschach calls it a momentary lapse in judgment as a passable thing. But
the comic book's from what, like the 80s?
Yeah, it was as much as I say this quote very often, mostly in a joking way, it was a different time.
Yeah, it was.
But why wouldn't he change it? This was what, 2009? Why would he not change her monologue about saying like, oh, it's not so bad when you look back on it, where she was beaten, and if it wasn't for another guy walking in, she would have been raped.
Because I quite liked the bit where she said about like looking back, things don't seem as bad, because that's right. Like I've been in situations where I've like nearly got beaten up, and at the time it felt like the worst time ever. And now I look back and joke about it, but I think it could have been done more tastefully.
Yeah, all they need to do is not link that particular statement directly after the rape thing. Like it could have been on some other bad times.
Why?
And it's in the same scene, but it's not directly, but it's directly after. And it just feels... I mean, I've never been raped, but I imagine anyone who has or almost been raped would not like that and would not agree with that sentiment. I don't think you'd find anyone who would.
No, but you just kind of... I don't know.
Roll with the punches.
No, it's kind of... This film is very much kind of like straight to the bone in some bits. So... sugarcoat in this bit is kind of just taken away from that. Like, why not just keep it?
But I think they could have gone about it in a way of saying that she's almost sugarcoated her past without, it felt like they were justifying it a bit and being like, oh, well, everyone makes mistakes. He was just, that's who Eddie was, bit of a rapist, and actually it's fine. And I was like, that felt, it was, I agree with you. Like, they could have done it in a way that was better, but they didn't. Like, they could have done that, but they went about it a bit ham-fisted.
I do like that phrase.
What does it mean, though?
I think it's just like
ham-fisted.
Just I don't know, trotters.
I only know that because I threw ham into a tree.
What, you were throwing ham into a tree badly? And someone went, that's a bit ham-fisted. Yeah. And you went, what is that
My name's
saying?
Hammond. So it had double meaning.
It's just like making a muck of it, isn't it?
Sham-fisted.
Were you like when an alien comes to Earth and they don't understand basic phrases like, that's a bit ham-fisted.
What is ham-fisted? I must throw ham in a
Looks
tree.
at your fist for an extended period of time. I don't think it is ham.
So should we get to the end of how we felt about this?
Yeah.
Have you got any points that you wanted to pull up?
That prick.
Moloch.
He kills loads of people and then blames it on Mr. Manhattan.
Oh.
And kills his blue tiger guy.
Yeah, we've not. Oh, yeah.
So the whole crux of the story is like Rorschach is investigating this murder that he thinks of masked men. It turns out that the whole thing is a bigger plot by Vite, Mr. Perfect, Mr. Smartest Man in the World, to set off a load of explosions in different cities around the world in order to prevent the nuclear Armageddon that's happening and blame it on Dr. Manhattan.
To then gain world peace.
Yes. By uniting everyone against a common enemy.
I really liked that ending. Like, how many endings can you think of where the villain wins and you're actually like, it's not so bad.
Mr. Manhattan blows Rorschach up. Why didn't he blow that other prick up?
Who, Night Owl?
No.
Vite.
Yeah.
Ozymandias.
Yeah, but
blow his head off.
Rorschach's asking for it, though, isn't he? He's like, come on, do it. Jack me off. Because he doesn't say that.
As much as Dr. Manhattan says he neither condones or condemns, Vite is still potentially the best person to lead humanity to a better. He's still working on like free energy. That's what he mentions to those that oligarch of fossil fuels, where it's like, electric cars are going to happen. Deal with it. And when they threaten him,
I didn't pick that up from the film. I didn't get that. No, I got it at that point, but I thought that was a ruse to be like, I'm telling you, I'm going to do the free energy, but actually, what I'm working on is this.
No, he's still working on the free energy.
Oh, right, okay.
That's still his plan of. Because he thinks that's a center of corruption for the world. So if he can remove that and also unite people against one common enemy. I don't know why I can't say common. But yeah. So if he can remove all these things that turn people against each other while also creating something that unites people, that's his goal.
Oh.
So, because...
Like Shane Ward's goal.
That's my goal.
I don't know what
he's not here to say he's sorry. He's not here to lie to you.
Are you singing at me?
Yeah. So yeah, I liked the ending. What did you think of the film then?
Okay. I've been going first all the time.
I'll go first.
All the time.
I loved it. I loved it the first time I saw it. I loved it this time. Definite luxurious cheese. I think it looks great. I think there's some weird bits. The soundtrack's a bit on the nose at points. The sex scene is horribly handled.
The sex scene just doesn't make any sense.
But it's brutal when it needs to be. It's got a good ending. And yeah, I love it. Yeah, luxurious cheese for me.
I agree. I agree. Of all of the above.
All the songs that are in it are actually referenced in the comic book.
Are they?
I'm pretty sure all, if not 90%.
Even the one that's from...
Like, because there's bits where each chapter is broken up and it'll either end or start with a quote from a song. Or there'll be a mention of a song in the background somewhere.
Even the sex scene to Leonard Cohen.
That's the one I'm only not sure about, but I'm pretty sure it would have been, because it wouldn't be the Leonard Cohen version, but it would have been the reference to, but there's references to Jimi Hendrix and things. So, yeah,
Bob Dylan.
A lot of what you wouldn't think is in the comic book is actually in the comic book in this film. I'm torn on this. I do enjoy watching a movie, but knowing how much it's butchered what the original comic was.
You see, when I've read a comic and I watch a film, I kind of try and forget what I know about the comic. The same with like the remake of Evil Dead.
Ooh,
I kind of forget about what it was and just try and watch it as a standalone.
Okay.
And then slug it off afterwards.
As a standalone, yes. It's a solid, I'll rewatch it many times over. I really wanted for this one, because I've never seen it, but I know I've read all about everything that's in it, the ultimate cut. So with this film, there's the theatrical cut.
Directors and then ultimate.
Yeah.
And that's like 4 hours 15, isn't it?
No, I thought that. But so theatrical cut is like 2 hours 40 something. And then director's cut is 3 hours and 5 or something. And then the ultimate cut is 3 hours and 40.
Well, I watched the normal version. That was 3 hours 5.
You watched the director's cut.
It was just the one that was on Sky Movies.
That's the director's cut. Which is only slightly different, but it's got more extended. So did you have a bit more of the people at the comic book part? No. That's meant to be the director's cut.
Anyway, sorry.
Because the one on Netflix is 2 hours 40 something.
Anyway.
But yeah, the comic book is so good. I don't know. What's in between Spoilt Milk?
There isn't.
There isn't.
You just gotta...
Wait, I feel like I said there wasn't levels before. And then you guys...
No, there's levels of cheese.
Okay.
So you can be like, it's a cheese, but it's a, like, Baby Bell, bog standard.
Okay, so yeah, passable cheese.
Dairy cheese triangle.
Oh, is that what you're going for then?
I'm going for passable, because I do enjoy watching the movie. I really enjoy watching the movie. But if you actually want a better story, then this fire alarm is going off. So,
right, okay, so it's luxurious cheese until next time.
Bye! Fire alarm!
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast, you pieces of fucking shit.